Good morning. Yeah, the moon was over there last night. Now it's up there. Planets are rolling behind it. The moon is. Look at that, man. The moon's gonna give us some, intriguing looking sights. Ooh, what is that? Number 2 right there, upside down. Look at that. So yeah. Blessed be our Lord again. He's great. So, look. Oh yeah, popping right behind it. Come on, show it. Come on, you see two different little shapes right there. I know the screen's not the best. Yeah, camera's not the best. That's okay though. Whew, wow. So we're gonna try and get this out, because the clouds are showing really, they're moving eastward. Orion's belt is over there, although you can't see it. It's more like right there, so clouds are moving in that direction. With the moon right there. Of course, the sun is over there, just like the pyramids are, built in. Ooh, look at that dark cross. So let's have a little chat about, my boy Jesus, because that boy's bad. You know what I'm saying? But he, for me, what's important, about the story of Jesus is including, you have to include Mary Magdalene, because she was a big part of his life. She was his wife. Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus, and she was with him through his teachings and ministries, and she, of course, did the things like, selling the fish in town that they caught the, during the day. When they caught a boatload of fish, who do you think sold it in the marketplace? Mary Magdalene. While the men went, back to the tent and, laid on dirt floors and, rubbed alabaster on their feet and, they talked. They had wine. They ministered, And so a big part of all of Jesus's, days were, you have to include Mary Magdalene into it. Because we go back to the fact that, Mary Magdalene is mentioned as Jesus's companion. And back then, that's what they said regarding your significant other. And, Mary Magdalene, was, again, like I said, she was right there, did the things, went into town, moved to tents, traveled with them. She was a big integral part of, what gave Jesus the spare time, or literally, to do what he did. Because Mary Magdalene was there every step of the way, taking care of things so, Jesus could teach. Oh, look at that. And so, if we think like that way, okay, so she was there, she learned a lot. Obviously, they had private discussions we're not even privy to. Looks like a comet right there, don't it? I believe it is. And, because we're not even privy to some of the, conversations they had together. But when you take it into, why Mary Magdalene was so important, you have to go to the point where, the guards came after Jesus, 15 deep, pointing spears at him. Who was there? After the men fled, because they didn't want to get persecuted. The men fled. But so who was left there? Mary Magdalene. Right? When they convicted Jesus, who was there? Weeping probably. Mary Magdalene. When Jesus carried the cross down the street while they spit and kicked him, who was there? Mary Magdalene. When they nailed Jesus to the cross and he screamed out in agony, who was there to him? Mary Magdalene. When they punched the spear through Jesus' side, who was there at the final? At the final breath? Mary Magdalene. Who wrapped Jesus in the shroud of Turin? Mary Magdalene. Who went 3 days later, early Sunday morning, as light rose, to go anoint Jesus' body? Mary Magdalene. Then you got to ask yourself, who did Jesus appear first to? Mary Magdalene. Who was the first person, to teach and minister about the resurrection of Jesus? Mary Magdalene. Who was the actual first Christian? Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene lived an extraordinary life that gets untold and unheard. You know what I'm saying? She wrote Gospels. Well, she didn't write it. It was passed down, and I think her great-granddaughter wrote it. That's immaterial. There is a Gospel of Mary Magdalene. We know this. What else do we know about Mary? Well, in some of the depictions by Leonardo, shows a reversed image of Mary Magdalene laying her head on Jesus' shoulder and their naked bodies touching. If you invert it, rotate it around, bring Mary Magdalene over, her head rests on Jesus' shoulder while their naked bodies touched. What else do we know about Mary Magdalene? Well, we know that they found the tomb of Jesus to the family belonging to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. Of course, Jesus' box was empty and rumored to be still in pristine condition. But Mary Magdalene's ossuary box was also in the tomb of Jesus, buried under 26 feet of dirt, found back in 1980. We have to confirm that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene. Now, what does that confirm? Well, it confirms that we now know who the bride of Christ is. The bride of Christ will arise, and her name is Mary Magdalene. Look at that. Look at that planet right there. Oh, is that a beautiful shot? Told you. Look at that. See, the moon is way over there. How is it lighting up over there when the moon is way up there? It'll pop out again. But I also want to confirm that the Egyptians built their pyramids to warn us about the Planet X system. They built them so perfect that the Planet X system went through the belt of Orion while the moon was there and the sun was over there, when it came through. Now it's about to go through the belt of Orion on its way out. Now we know the Mayans built their pyramids exactly in the formation of the constellation Pleiades. Did they predict these things too coming? I don't know, because I wasn't hip to that information until just recently. Look at that. Look. Tell me that's not ugly, see? So that's the story of Mary Magdalene. Has to be told. Has to be known. People should try to realize that the bride of Christ is Mary Magdalene. There is no other bride of Christ. It's Mary Magdalene. Beautiful pictures tonight. Absolutely beautiful. You see a little one right there? I know it's coming through. See the one right there? See the two difference in colors? The wind might pick up a little. Circling around, you can see how they're circling around. The moon is in front of them, so they're farther away than the moon. So those doomsday guys saying it's going to hit Earth, no, it's not. Okay? Poles aren't going to shift. People have been saying that for a year now. Poles aren't going to shift. They're zigzagging across southern Russia. And the other one zigzagging across, the southern Pacific Ocean, around around southern Chile. That kind of goes like that back out into the Pacific Ocean. Or Indian, I don't know what part that is. But that's beautiful. Might be a smudge on the screen, but we're doing it. There was lightning in the background. Not sure if I'm going to catch any. But yeah, there is magnetic electricity going on. And look at that. Look at that. See how that works? Isn't that just beautiful? Everybody have a good night.